Hi, it's Roni, and welcome to Cityscrapper's 1,000 subscriber celebration hop. Yeah, we're helping Laura celebrate today on her milestone of 1,000 subscribers. And it's also a Punched Out Thursday to die for. And guess who's joining us every week from now on? Today, starting today, yes. It's Laura. So she will be joining us on a Punched Out Thursday to die for, and you'll be able to see what she does with her dies and her punches. And this is this layout that I'm going to be scrap lifting of hers today. I'm going to stick pretty close to it, but my colors are going to be different. My photo's going to be rectangular instead of round. And isn't it the cutest little layout? I just loved it. But I am going to be going along with fall colors where hers are Halloween. I was pointing out there that that one die is all I'm going to use out of that package. And I'm going to mix my stuff on my layout. I'm going to use gelatos and distress ink because that was the only way I was going to get the colors that I wanted. I am using this yellow and I believe it's called buttercream. And then I've got that peach. And I'm also going to use the aqua. And of course, the gelatos feel a little bit different when you're putting them on there. It feels thicker and everything. So I was worried about mixing them very much. But I figured they're both water soluble. They should work, right? And they do. And they do. I don't want y'all to think they didn't. They do. um, the distress inks that I'm using is um, broken glass and rusty hinge there. However, for the inking, I'm also going to use some wild honey. I am just using the packaging technique and putting colors all around where I thought my photo was going to end up, and it is going to end up there. I leaving the empty spot though. I'm going to ink that uses stencil and it's Tim Holtz honeycomb. And I thought, oh, that one's just a little darker than I wanted. It's not going to matter. I'm going to cover it up. So I did a lighter hand on the other ones though, because I thought I want them just a little bit lighter than what I did the top one. And yeah, I'm going to cover it up with flowers. I can't see it at all now, so it don't matter. Uh, I'm using that crosshatch stamp. I'm so glad I took that off that block. I'm using it a lot more off the block than when I had it on there and using it for mixed media instead of the backgrounds of my cards. I inked it with Rusty Hinge, I believe. I'm pretty sure that was Rusty Hinge that I used. And I am going to, I'm going to put droplets all over, and the ones I'm using for the splattering on here is the rusty hinge and the broken glass. And then I'm going to pull some white Delusions out. Instead of making up some white with my acrylic paints or anything, I thought it'd be easier just to use the Dilutions because it goes on pretty good and it stays. And you can still see white spots on certain places on here. Not as many as you may if I had a different color paper, but this one's kind of an off white. It is watercolor paper, and it's not really super white. It's off white, so it works really good to go with the collections that have the autumn stuff because it's not as bright of white as some of them are. The I am going to ink all my greenery and flowers. Well, I think I'm going to ink everything on the layout. My picture don't look inked right now, but I will ink it between now and the end of the layout. I think in a few minutes, but I went ahead and cut it out since I already had flowers and greenery on there. And I had to pull everything up to ink it, but yeah, it is going to get some ink on there. And the collection I'm using is Simple Stories Vintage Harvest, I believe is what it's called. And it is so cute. It was on Peachy Cheap one morning, and I thought, oh, I love that. I gotta get it. I'm loving the Simple Storage vintage stuff. I mean, no matter what they come out with, I am loving it. But I don't have any 12 by 12 papers, but it's all right on this since I'm going to be using the watercolor paper in the background. And when I showed you the stuff that I was planning on using for the layout, I did not show you my chicken wire die. That's because I forgot it. As much as I like that, I forgot it. And so I started putting the greenery down and remembered it. And I put the piece up there at the top because I had to tuck it under. And I told myself, put some more down before you go on. Did I do that? No, I put some more greenery down. So I will be tucking some more of that under there. But I would think I was paying more attention to the videos playing on the TV than what I was saying in my head to go ahead and do. Uh, I'm tearing it all apart. I like it kind of irregular and broken. I think it adds extra texture, and the flowers and greenery look awesome on it. At least they do, in my opinion. And I did it in, well, the paper I used, the cardstock I used, is kind of a rusty orange color, and I liked that, so I went ahead and used it to add some of that color. You will see some of that color my in the ephemera that I'm going to be using, but the flowers I decided to go with the yellow on them and then just ink them with the rusty hinge and the wild honey. I oh I am going to put foam tape behind all the flower buds, including the dandelion. Uh, and then the greenery is all going to just be glued down to the page, but I wanted all the flowers to pop up a little bit so it'll add dimension, and so all of them will have a little piece of foam tape under them. Not a very big one because I wanted the edges and everything to kind of stick out. They get a little flat when you put them in the album, but not too bad. Not too bad as long as you put the foam tape on there. They don't get too bad in there at all. Now, if you look up there at Laura's layout, she has little bats, and they're just so cute. I believe they have glitter on them too, if I'm thinking correctly. I can't see it very good. It's pretty small on the screen, but I thought about adding some dragonflies to mine, but by the time I got to that point where I could add them, I forgot all about it. So they are not going to get added to my layout. I'm not quite sure if there's dragonflies flying around that time of year anyway, though. So it's probably a good thing I forgot. And the thing is, I was thinking when I thought of that my dragonfly was actually going to get used as a dragonfly. I've used it for so many other things, but no, it's not going to get used on the layout. Um, the if y'all notice, I'm getting lower and lower on the flower and greenery. Yeah, and I was thinking, about this time I didn't have much left, and I thought I might have to cut some more out. And I thought maybe I could camouflage it some way. Surely there's a way I can camouflage it where I don't have to add, cut some more out. And there is. I figured out one. I'm going to end up pulling out, well, it's a piece of wood grain paper that I had cut for another layout and inked. And I'm pretty sure that it is in vintage photo because it looks like a dark brown, but I'm going to use it at the bottom of my photo. And that chicken wire is going to stick out from underneath it. I'm going to move it up on top of the photo just a little bit. And then put ephemera on top of that and stickers. And that way my flowers are going to be stretched a little bit farther. But while I am adding all this, and I am going to put the stickers on white cardstock, and I'm also going to put cardstock behind the ephemera that I use, just to make them a little bit more sturdy to go on my layout, and I can put foam tape and stuff behind them. Anyway, while I'm doing that, I want to mention that down there below will be the group that are all joining in to help Laura celebrate her 1,000 subbies. And all their links will be there for their channel so you can see what they created. And then there'll also be the Punched Out Thursday to Die For gang and the links for them. And probably be some of them that are the same that's in the hop. So there's lots of inspiration down there below and lots of fun hopping from one video to the next. I don't know about y'all, but I always love it when I can click on YouTube and see all these thumbnails for a hop. I know my day is made. I can scrap away and see all kinds of new videos with scrappy goodness. Yeah. I sometimes, like I said, I pay a little more attention to them than what I'm doing. Um, while I've been jabbering, uh, I've been working on the layout, and I did put my piece of wood grain plank down there at the bottom and put my ephemera on top. And so it says cool and crisp, feeling fall vibes. And I'm going to also add one more little sticker down there. It says enjoy life. But I'm putting a couple of the pumpkins, and um, yeah, I'm just going to fill in that little spot down there, and there will be no flowers, and it'll work. I won't have to go cut anymore. Not that I mind cutting anymore. I just thought I'd see if I could work around it and not cut them. And yeah, I think it worked out. I am going to punch some flowers out. I'm looking to see if you can see the punch. There is a punch laying there over to the left, and I will be punching out a little tiny flower in the lightest color yellow. Well, the same as that spray laying there. And oh, I forgot, I did use one more ink. I used it on the sprays, and it is antique linen, so that they wouldn't be quite as yellow, and they went ahead and went with everything else on the layout just a little bit better. I really had fun making this layout, and I did notice along the way a couple of the flowers. I kind of tucked them in, probably to check them out and see if they look good there or not, and forgot to glue them. So I had to go back and glue them. Here I am punching out a heart, and I'm putting glue all over the whole thing, and I'm smearing it with my fingers so I know the whole thing's covered, and putting burlap on the top of it. And then I'm going to set it aside. Even though it don't look it, I did set it aside and let it dry. And then I trimmed around it so that my heart would have a heart shape. I have found if I try to cut it and make a heart shape out of the burlap and not have no cardstock behind there, that it does not work too well. It just ravels a bit more than I want it to ravel. And I didn't want these to ravel. I made 3 of them, and the one in that little cluster, I am using my tiny attacher and attaching the banner. And yeah, my little cluster is just going to grow a little bit more over on that side. Um, the burlap is just some ribbon. I probably got it at Hobby Lobby like years and years ago because I've had it a long time. But you can buy paper pads with it. And well, I don't guess it's paper pads. Well, yeah, because I think the burlap is on paper, and it's adhesive too, because my friend Jennifer sent me some. Well, she sent me a sheet, and I save it for something I'm going to cut with a die. And this was a punch, and so all I really punched was the paper and then cut around it. But yeah, that other stuff works awesome on a die. And they have cork that way too. I think Hobby Lobby has both. I think so. I think I've seen them both there. But here, here is that sticker sheet, and I'm going to put some phrases in 3 spots. One's going to say Fall Festival. This really isn't a festival; it's a pumpkin farm. And then another one's family time, because you know their whole family went. He's the one that lives up by St. Louis, and I don't get to see him quite as much, but I do get photos and a video every now and then. And then the last one will be Enjoy Life, and it's going to go down there at the bottom. And when I layer them with some cardstock or something, I don't try to make it look perfect. I like the handmade look. And so I don't mind if it's cut a little crooked or if there's a point that shouldn't be there or anything, because I do like the homemade look when I'm putting it on the layout. And what am I doing? Oh, maybe now I am adding the jute. I'm adding brown jute to the layout. I'm going to put it in 3 different spots, I think. No, I actually put it in 4. Sorry, I do put it in 4. And yeah, just put it around in little clustered areas on the layout. I can see that little flower punch now. I don't know if it was showing a while ago and I just missed it. But yeah, it's in plain sight. But I am just going to cut them out of this scrap where I cut the sprays out. And I think it cuts about 10 to 12 out. And I'm going to ink them all in the wild honey. And then I'm going to use my 1/8 inch punch and cut brown centers out for the middle of them and glue them on. And then I'm just going to put them here and there in my clusters around in the flowers. And I'm going to put one over there with the little cluster on the right hand side. And I'm getting pretty close to getting done with my layout. I think the last thing that I have to add is sequins, and they will be Spiegel Mom scraps and called In the Woods. They're a dark brown, and some of them look like wood grain even, and some of them don't. Oh, I forgot I'm adding one more word to my title, and it's going to be Harvest Time. I had that planned all along, and I just almost forgot to do it. But yeah, Harvest Time is what my title's going to be. And as I mentioned before, I like splatters on top of my ephemera and flowers and greenery. So I did add the white and the bookworm green on there. And then once I get done with my little sequins around the layout, I will be done with it. But don't forget to check out all the links down there below and go to Laura's channel and congratulate her on her 1,000 subbies and see what she created for today. And yeah, that's it. That's my layout. And as you can see, they are similar. I had to move my title down or up a little bit. So I decided to go ahead and move it down. And then I put a little cluster up there where she would have had those 2 leaves. So yeah, I was trying to stick close to it. And there's my cluster that made up for not having enough flour. Usually I have too many cut, but yeah, this time I didn't quite have enough. So I just worked around it. And there's the rest of the cluster growing up there. And yeah, that's it. That's my layout. And if you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so much. But yeah, Laura's going to be part of the Punched Out Thursday to Die For group. So you will be seeing a lot more of her on Thursdays. And yeah, check all the links out below and say hi to everybody. Send them some love. Have a happy, scrappy week. Have fun on the hop. Bye.